So we are going to dive into our eating exercise today. So I really hope that you have some food with you. What we're going to do is hone our attention into the level of satisfaction we're experiencing with each bite. So there's many ways that we can focus our mindful eating exercise, and this is a great universal one for all of us to do. I'm going to stop the share so we can just focus on each other. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to have you get your food and place it in front of you. You may choose to place a napkin out. You may choose to put your drink on your table. And as you put your food down in front of you, I want you to notice the room around you and see if you need to make any adjustments to the lights or close a door for minimizing interruption, if you need to turn off a ringer. We're going to attempt to pay attention inside. So however you are sitting, I'm going to have you sit up just a little bit straighter. If you're leaning into the back of the chair, try to sit up so the crown of the head is over the shoulders and shoulders over the hips. Letting the eyes close. Notice where the hands lay. Notice the warmth or the cool in the palms of the hands. And notice the warmth or the cool in the soles of the feet. Notice what the soles of the feet are touching. And then notice the breath. Breathing in and then sighing it out, letting the shoulders drop. Breathing in again and sighing it out, again, letting the shoulders drop. And notice if you're holding any tension in any other areas of the body, perhaps between the eyebrows, the jaw, the back, or the hips. And on the next exhale, really sigh it out. And then ask yourself here, how hungry am I? On a scale from 0 to 10, am I closer to 0, not at all hungry, or 10, the most hungry I've ever been? Give yourself a rating, 0 to 10. And then again, sitting up a little straighter, gently opening the eyes. Take a look at the food in front of you. Look at the color of the food, the shape, and gently picking up the food. Hold it in the hand, feeling its weight. Looking at the evenness or the unevenness of the surface. Almost as though you have artist eyes and you would be painting this piece of food. And bring it up to the nose to smell it. And bring it up to the ear to listen to it. And bring it right against the lips, just touching it to the lips, and notice if the mouth begins to salivate or the body begins to crave the food. When you're ready, taking a bite, a single bite of your food. Noticing the desire to go fast or slow, or just having one bite. Noticing the food move around the mouth. And then rating the satisfaction on a scale from 0 to 10. How much am I satisfied by this food? 0 is not at all satisfied, and 10 is the most satisfying food I've ever had. And following that food and that experience as you chew and swallow. And then place the food down when you've completely swallowed the food. And let the eyes close if that's comfortable for you. And simply notice. Notice what's going on inside of the body. What does it feel like in the mouth, in the belly? And then ask yourself, how hungry am I? On a scale from 0, not at all hungry, to 10, the most hungry I've ever been, rate yourself. And then open the eyes, take a look at the food. Let's take a big breath in and out, letting go of any other tension that you may be feeling. Looking at the food again, investigating the colors, the shapes. Picking the food up, the weight of the food, the smell and the sound. Even when you breathe in that smell, maybe there's a way you could describe it. If you were trying to describe it to someone, how would you describe this smell? And then taking a bite. Noticing the food as it's moving around the mouth, the movement of the mouth, the salivation, and even the thoughts and emotions that are associated with this bite, just this bite. What thoughts do you have in relation to this bite? And then as you're beginning to swallow, digest that food, rate the taste satisfaction. 0 is not at all satisfying, and 10 is the most satisfying food I have ever eaten. And then setting the food down and closing the eyes again. Let's turn our attention inside. And ask yourself, how hungry am I? And how do I know how hungry I am? How do I know how hungry I am? And then we're going to open the eyes. And I want you to make a conscious decision here when you open your eyes, based on the information of how hungry I am and how do I know how hungry I am. Ask yourself, am I going to take the next bite? Remember, this is an exercise. So we're asking ourselves this question because we often are cued by the size of the food we eat. So building in the question here, do I want another bite? And if the answer is yes, go ahead, lead yourself through the exercise of using all the senses to eat the food. And then slowly placing the food back down. Closing the eyes and reflecting on what this experience has been like. And I will ask for your feedback right at the end. But I want you to just make a note of what happened for you during this meditation. It is one way, this is one way that we can layer awareness on our habit of eating so that we can integrate our mindful eating practice every time that we're eating. Right? Some of us don't have time for meditation breaks, but we are always eating. And so in our longer workshop series, right, we just did a really quick 30 minutes here. Our real goal with mindful eating is to discover